G'day guys, Gavin Mollichap Garage. Here we are at the Military Jeep Club of Queensland's swap meet for 2025 at Laidley in southeast Queensland. We finally made it once again. Another big drive. This time we've got another passenger, and I'll talk to you all about that one a little bit later. But yes, the usual three grease monkeys are throwing up, complaining, how long till we get there, how will we get there? Well, we're here, as you can see. We've got all the vehicles out on the showground, so it looks like it's a little bit different. I don't know if that's where they're having the vehicles because they're doing a display for a while, or if it's just a different layout because the car park is a little bit different today. They've actually got it organised. Everybody's out parked on the other side of the showground. As you can see out the back here, that's the sort of allocated parking as opposed to everyone just parking where they wanted. We've got the Australian Army guys here. Out the back is the Kiowa chopper again, so it's back out here. And yeah, we'll just do our little walk around and show you what's at the swap meet this year. I might get some parts for my middle son's Jeep, that's Ollie. Better get some bits for his frame that I'm cleaning up and getting ready because I'm sick of it sitting around getting rusty and getting in the way. So might get some parts and see if there's some stuff he wants, Army stuff for Christmas. So we'll see what Army stuff there is for Christmas that we might get him. So yep, let's see what we can film and find out. All right, thanks guys, stay tuned.
myself a debit card, little bit of cash. Eddie on the speakers and I'm beating on the dash. Daddy was a highway, mama was a view. I'm the little boy bro. Oh, mama never. Couple left the kerosene and stuck it in my shoe. Never had a reason, never had a clue, just a little boy blue. No, no, no.
guys, that's us done for 2025 for the swap meet. Picked up a bunch of parts, spent a couple $100 on bits and bobs. As you can see, everybody's heading out now for a run. This is the guys that stayed for lunch. Everybody else is already headed off out onto a run. We're headed home. We're going to stop off at Jim Boomer and have Chinese for dinner tonight, and then we'll go home, have a look at all the bits and bobs that we've got, and maybe start putting out some more videos. So I'm working on Ollie's Jeep at the moment. I had to get some cross members and bumper bars and bits and bobs like that, so I can start clearing things out, because some bits I need to take out the front cross member because it's got rotted rivets and some cracks in it that needs to be repaired. That's why I needed to get the center cross member for the transmission. It doesn't have a front bumper, didn't have a rear bumper, so bits and bobs like that. So anyway guys, hopefully I'll get home, do a bit of editing on this tonight, maybe get it out tomorrow if you can, and hope you enjoy what you saw. It's stinking hot out here. The kids are dried out, they're sunburnt, I'm dried out, I'm sunburnt, and the baby, yes, we had another baby, guys. I got 4 grease monkeys. We had a little fella about 5 months ago. His name is Artie. He's short for Artem, and yeah, he's probably going to end up driving a Dodge, one of the Dodges that I've got. And later on when we get that built, we've got to get the Jeeps built. So anyway, hope you enjoy. That's the Military Jeep Club Queensland Swap Meet Laidley 2025. Enjoy. Catch you later. Thanks guys.